Role-playing in the ruins of interplanetary capitalism, live the life of an escaped worker washed up on a loveless station at the edge of an interstellar society. Inspired by the flexibility and freedom of TTRPGs, explore the station, choose your friends, escape your past, and change your future. Welcome everyone, the Niemer here, and today we're gonna be playing Citizen Sleeper. It's like a narrative CyberPunk RPG. It's very tactical. I saw very little of it like a while back. It's not a new game, but I wanted to play it for quite a while. I like the concept, so we're gonna jump into it here. Really looking forward to playing this one. And let's start a new game, and first we're gonna have to choose a character class. Operator. Operator works with drones and high precision remote machines to perform complex tasks from a distance. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. Okay, skills, +2 interface, -1 to endure. Okay, extractor. Extractors works on resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. +1 to endure, -1 to intuit. Sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, have a high level of endurance. Okay, well, there's a lot of like technical talk here. Machinist. A machinist repairs and modifies automated system used in industrial resource extraction. Sleepers assigned to machinist work as usual diligent, careful, and structured people. Well, since I don't know enough about the game to choose, I'm gonna go with the one which is selected by default. Oh, we're gonna have a drone here. Is that our drone? Little drone idiot. So, +1 to interface, work with digital interfaces, and -1 to endure, use strength or will. So we are not very powerful here. Okay, we're gonna have to be wise then. The first thing you become aware of on waking is the disconnect. The delay between thinking and feeling, between wanting to act and acting. Minor, almost imperceptible, but well, always present. Where are you? Unknown. Items, data. Nothing. Cyro. Cryptocurrency stored in air-walled sticks of memory known as chits. Okay. The first thing you become aware on... Alright, it's at its worst when waking, when yourself has spent many dark hours recalling what it felt like to be real, to be a person, to be in a body that was indisputably yours. Think of that body, or forget that body. A leap into a cold lake on a hot day, the sting of blood welling from a fresh wound, the friction of a fingertip. All of a sudden the memories are closer than you thought, blurring as you approach until you can't tell one from another. The cold slips in behind and around you, and the sensations fade out of reach. Perhaps you should be thankful for the dull nature of this new body, given occurring circumstances. The walls of the container feel immediately present, cold, hard at your back and face, cramping your limbs. You resist the desire to stretch, knowing that the claustrophobia comes next, and retreat a little from your central nervous system. It isn't painful, not like you used to know pain at least. In emergency mode, pain is a message delivered with efficiency and ease, a reminder that harm is imminent. There is no insistent throb, no trembling nerves, just a warning delivered with the banal quality of a digital notification. Right now there are thousands of them. Remember the plan. Remember the others. Let's remember the others. You remember there were 10 of you, 10 that could no longer stand the indentured work. The routines, the slow decay, 10 whose belief in their promised future was slowly dismantled day by day, until they realized they had sold away everything that could and would ever matter. 10 that would escape, or at least, well, trying. So yeah, we're trying to escape the capitalism machinery here. Some were lost in the shaft, others never found a meeting point. Only a few made it to the containers, but a frighter, as far as you know, left. That feels like enough to know that you might no longer be on that grim and heartless rock. Even if, in the airless hold of a freighter, you might freeze solid long before you reached any destination. Try to rest. But you're restless. It has been a long time since you left, surely weeks, maybe months. You are dully aware of damage to your legs or your right arm. You have been reserving energy as much as possible, but your body has still needed to shutting down needed to shut down many of its systems to protect you. You have spent much of that time asleep, knowing that anything else would be impossible to endure. You feel weight of that impossibility begin to gather. It is time to sleep again, to nudge this false body into inducing delta waves in your immolated mind, and once again recoil into a dream of when you were once a person. Time passes, the cold creeps further in. You feel something. Warmth, not true warmth, but the indication of its presence. Your joints release from their rigor. Sounds too, everywhere screeching and shimmering so loud that your body ducks your hearing to protect its sensors. Then light, white as the cold, softer and softer, until in a haze of dirty yellow a figure appears. You are out. And well, here we are. So yeah, this game, you click on locations and choose options and stuff happens. So let's go. Dragos, the pragmatic salvager. You have to manage your resources wisely and do smart choices, I guess. It has been a few hours since Dragos pulled you from the container. You sit huddled in a corner of his scrapyard, swaddled in the reflective folds of a mylar blanket. You're slowly coming back to consciousness, back to life, and you stare at the ornately carving element of an improvised heater. You're surrounded by angular, incoherent lumps of ships, some corroded beyond recognition, others still carrying glassy wounds along their edges, where a plasma arc sliced them apart. As you trace their shapes with fogged eyes, you hear a voice. So, sleeper. You all thought yet? What is this? Is this a man, a woman? It's hard to say. Almost. Never seen one of you come in like this. New frames must have been better preserved in Sub-Zero back. Seen more than a few of you frozen solid to hull plates or inside outer locks in my time. They weren't so lucky. Dragos comes into focus, shrouded in makeshift tech. His headset with its glinting eyes that mark of a drone operator. Oh, a fellow drone operator. Hello, I'm a drone operator as well. On his shoulder, one of his symbiotically linked drones perches, its a rising eye locking you with an unflinching stare. Last living sleeper that came through this yard was a while ago. They didn't last long. You struggle to read his expression beneath the tech, but he seems lost in memory for a moment. Or perhaps he's just figuring out what to do with you. I plan to survive. You aren't sure if he hears you. I won't ask what led you to do it, to sell yourself to a corporation. And I suppose you know you can't go back. Your old body, that's theirs now. And you're just software, a rogue emulation illegally possessing corporate property. You nod along, you remember biometrically signing the forms, the cold floor on your feet as you padded to the sleeper cells, the promise of a life off-world. But as you do, you get the now familiar sensation that these aren't your memories. These are things you know, but not things you feel. You're no longer that person, you're an offshot, a copy. What you won't know is what's ahead, at least the last one didn't. There's no easy way to put it, that body of yours is falling apart. It's the same for any sleeper who makes it out. S and ARP wants to protect their property, but if they can't keep hold of you, well, then no one can. Right, so yeah, we are an escaped worker, and since we're property of the corporation, they don't want to lose their property to somebody else. So yeah, there's like some safety measures in hand to prevent people like me trying to escape. You remember that too, or at least rumors of it from other sleepers. Planned obsolescence, a built-in dependence on the regularly administered supplements that were part of your routine. Stop taking them and your body begins to shut down. Separate from amulet might. How long has it been? How long do we have? So we're gonna have to like find these supplements. This will be like our food in this game. But for now, sleeper, you're one of the lucky ones. Dragos glances up and away, towards the glassy dome at the yard. The eye is the best place you could be right now. The eye. The station. You'll see soon enough. Dragos impatiently shifts his weight. Look, I've got things to be getting on with. He trails off. There's an old freight container I've been using as storage out in the stacks. We haven't been pulling in much valuable scrap these days, so you're welcome to it. Something wells up inside of you. Emotion. Fatigue. You shakily get to your feet. Not. Alright, You head up on there, you look like you need some rest, and with the Dragos stuck back in the racks, his throne's already converging on a rusting hulk, plasma flashes silhouetting his spindly figure as he returns to work. Tutorial introduction. Welcome to the Alien's Eye. Life on the Eye runs in cycles, during which you can talk to characters, explore areas of the station, and perform actions. At the end of each cycle, you need to head to your current home to rest. Resting will move time forward on the station. Head to the empty container location to rest and end the cycle now. Right, so empty container, your home for now. Well, it's gonna do. Per cycle energy condition, all cycles need to end. Rest and prepare for the next one. Okay, end cycle. Sleep our pains away. And then we wake up. You wake curled up in the corner of the container and begin slowly assembling the world around you. After all this time, you still find this body, the one you wake in now, strange and disjointed. Its messages readable but somehow wrong. You sit up, pulling the mylar blanket close against the cold. Here you are, on this ruined station, millions of miles from anyone you know. Are you still in the system? Did any of the others make it out? It's impossible to know. After all of this, well, what matters? Escape, getting answers, building a life. Building a life, I think. Maybe you did get lucky, finding yourself here, maybe here on the edge of everything. There's a life for you to build, but before you can build anything, you'll need to learn to survive. Maybe if you can do that, you can make a life for yourself. Dragos has left a few comforts in the container: the mylar blanket, the bedroll you slept on, a canister of water, a makeshift electric stove, and some faded sachets of some desiccated powder. You thumb the power stud of the stove and begin to boil the water. The contents of the sachets smell like damp wood, and you sprinkle them into the liquid. As the pungent smell washes over you, images from your restless sleep come back to you. A ring, like the station, but skeletal and ghostly. A web of threads pulling at your skin, a constellation of bright polygonal shapes, like angular suns burning into your mind. There's something unpleasantly visceral about these images, and it is long after you've finished drinking before they begin to fade. You tidy away the stove as best as you can and try to gather enough energy to greet the day. Okay. Tutorial: condition, action, dice, and energy. Your condition represents the current state of your artificial body. It depletes by one segment each cycle, but can also be damaged by your violence, injury, or lack of food. If your condition bar empties, you will suffer a breakdown. You'll have to figure out how to recover your condition now that you no longer have access to corporate pharmaceuticals that were keeping you alive. Action dice. So I guess this condition is the red bar. Action dice. At the start of each cycle, you roll your action dice. These dice can be used to perform actions on the station. The number of dice rolled is based on your current condition. The worse your condition, the fewer dice you have. Once you have used your dice, you cannot take any further actions and must rest to recover them, ending the current cycle. Energy. You also need to eat to survive. This is represented by your energy bar. You can refill your energy bar by eating, but first you'll have to find somewhere to get food. Your energy depletes by 2 segments each cycle. If it becomes empty, you will be starving. When starving, energy loss becomes condition loss, and your condition will also deplete at a double rate per cycle. I'm not sure where the... Oh, I guess this is the energy. These 2 bars here below the dice. So this is where we are right now. Leave. Okay. Dragos is stood in the corner when you close up the container. He's still wearing his headset. In the harsh light of the corridor, you realize it is implanted. A drone sits on his shoulder, its cache of sensor eyes rapidly rising. How are you feeling? Alright. The drone chirps. Good to hear. You notice that beneath the operator's rig, his skin is marked by burns and blotches. I know the container isn't much, but it will keep you safe. He pauses. So, I'm not going to chit-chat too long. You well enough to work? Sure. Alright then. At the yard, it's simple stuff. We hack these old hulls down, sell them off to the shipyards or the bright market dealers for Cyro. Occasionally we pull out some tech, something with a bit more value, but most what comes in is scrap. It's hard to find good hands here, but I figure as a sleeper you'll be used to the manual labor. And obviously I'll slip you a few chits of commission based on what you turn up. So chits are the in-game's money. These, he pulls out a handful of small metal bars. Airwall Cyro, isolated from the market. It's what we use to trade out here. He stuffs them back in a pocket. He shuffles his feet nervously. Look, I wouldn't usually do this. In my opinion, you'd be best suited moving on as quick as you can. And sleepers, well, he trails off. But things being the way they are for me at the yard, I need to help. Well, I'm happy to help. Okay, he pauses, thinking of something else to add. Look, just come down to the yard when you're feeling fresher. There's plenty to do. Will do. He nods distractedly and turns and walks away, the drone hopping along ahead of him. See you later, he calls back. Looks like it's time to get to work. Okay, so I'm gonna learn how to do the actions here. We could of course go back to sleep if we wanted to. Dragos yard. Decaying scrapyard. Actions. Actions are the primary way you interact with the world of Citizen Sleeper. To perform an action, click and drag your chosen action dice to the slot. Right, repeatable action. Even the rustiest hull can hide valuable components. Okay, see. Ooh. Action rewards you with clock progress, energy, condition, or items depending on their outcome. There are 3 types of outcome. Positive, the action goes better than expected. Neutral, the action succeeds. Negative, the action fails. Action dice affect these outcomes as follows. Okay, this one is 100% chance positive, this one is 50-50. So the circle is positive. 3, 6, 5. Ah, this is a 5, this is a 6, this is a 5. These are 4 and a 3. 25% chance of positive, neutral, right? And these are like 50-50 for neutral and negative. Okay. Continue. Action displays information about their type, risk level, and the skill and modifiers that apply to that action. Okay. 1 type, either critical or repeatable. Critical actions can only be performed once. Risk, either safe, risky, or danger. Safe, no loss of condition, energy, or Cyro. Risky, negative outcome means Cyro or energy loss. Danger, negative outcome means condition loss. Neutral outcome can mean Cyro or energy loss. Oof. For dangerous tasks, even neutral outcomes can be pretty bad, but not always. The skill that this action requires, either engineer, interface, endure, intuit, or engage. Modifier, -1, 0, +1, or +2. This is added to the action dice when slotted and improves its value. Some actions require a +1 to perform. Ah, okay. I see. So basically if you're good at something, you get like a plus dice pip. Okay. Right, so here we can now use our dice. We have 2 6s here. We have a 4 and a 2. Endure, manual salvage. It's going to take some time to sort and cut your way through the towers of salvage, but you're no stranger to hard labor. Adapt Codeine. Dragos is tied up in something ugly, and if he misses a payment or 2, things could get nasty. Back in business. Every salvager knows that they're always just one lucky haul away from their next pay. Okay. Engineer. So this one is risky, and this one is safe. Even the rustiest hull can hide valuable components and materials. Extracting them means cutting carefully and skillfully. Okay, I'm not well suited for this task. I have a -1 on this one and a 0 there. This one's risky, but it's a 0. So if you put like 6s in here, we'll be fine. This one is safe. So even at -1 we're probably fine, but... Okay, so we're gonna put the 6 here into the risky one, I think. Working, okay. Actions often progress clocks. Clocks are displayed below the actions that fill them, and they track your actions and how they affect the world. Filling a clock means something good or bad is about to happen. Some clocks, such as the one tracking Dragos' depth, are cycle clocks. These clocks tick themselves once each cycle and can complete without player input. Any active cycle clocks will be displayed on the icon for that location. Right, so we got 15 Cyro for that amazing work we just did. So this one would be a 3. 3 and 4 is pretty much the same. We're gonna put it in here. Right, oh, here we can see 25% positive, 50% neutral, and 25% negative. In Citizen Sleeper, you will unlock drives as you discover more about yourself and the world. Drives guide you in pursuing specific objectives, depending on which path you wish to take. You can track drives, and any tracked drive will place a yellow marker on locations that will help you pursue your goal. Access your drive menu via the arrow button at the top left of the screen. Use mouse wheel or V and S to scroll along the station. Rotate the view with A and D. Good luck. Right, we got a positive outcome. I wish that stayed a little bit longer. So this is our currency. Okay. Survive. Find a doctor. Wait, if I leave the location... Oh, we got shipyard. Heritage construction yards. Okay. Ooh. Okay. So there are locations here. There's a lot of locations. Okay. View character. Upgrade point 0. So we can upgrade stuff here. Okay. 1 upgrade point, 2 upgrade points, 3 upgrade points. Where do we set our drive though? Okay, so we can drive, repay Dragos, or we can be like survive. You need access to corporate pharmaceuticals, otherwise this escape attempt will come to rapid end. Okay, let's go and find the doctor then. So it says we should go here. Bustling open market. End gate. Passage into the low end. So that would, I guess, take us to a new location. I'm thinking we should probably help our benefactor here though, no? Like, well, we already helped him a little bit, but... maybe... like, he has time. We have time to help him out, right? So... I'm gonna check out some other locations we have here. We have the shipyard. Right. Assist a shipbuilder. Right, let's just turn this thing off. There we go. You don't have connections, but you do have skills. If you can get a shipbuilder to notice them, you might be in. Right. Assist a shipbuilder. Yard hand. The only way to get to know the shipyard is to work there. No tourists here. Okay. Hull materials. As a newcomer, you can only gain favor by grabbing a lot of materials and asking the nearest yard hand where to take them. It's very dangerous section though. Yeah, okay, we can leave this location. So you can, it seems like you can progress this kind of professions here. Like you can be a assistant shipbuilder, for example. Okay, let's see what else do we have here. We can go home and sleep, I believe. Yeah. I don't know if I was supposed to use both of my dice though, that's worrying me a little bit here, but what can we do? Dock C4, Rotunda Wet Dock. Hellion Crossing. Merchants willing to run the gauntlet of the Hellion system are rare, but those that do always return, eventually. So, I guess some time needs to pass before they come, okay. maybe. That's how it seems like to me. We got another dock here, same thing, okay. So in 4 days there's gonna be someone coming here, okay, cool. Then we got Rotunda, the old dock terminal. Let's see what's up with this. Critical action. We can be either a dock watcher or have an edge watch list. Have an edge security have to have plans. Stealing them would be the fastest way to get to know this place and the most dangerous. Okay. I mean, we have a 6, so we could go and like grab one of these. The rotunda of the old dock is filled with passageways and concourses leading to all kinds of docking bays. This is a critical action, so it can only be done once, and this is a repeatable action. Getting to know the rotunda doesn't just mean new places to visit, it means keeping your eye on the new arrivals too. Heavenage run the rotunda and their security watches the docks, better to avoid attracting their attention. Okay. So we can get on their watch list if you're not successful there. Then we got our doctor here. Ask for directions, engage. Why wonder when there are hundreds of people that live and work within the bright market? All you need is the courage to approach them. If you approach the wrong person, well, whoops, explore the market, into it. The smell, sounds and buzzing activity of the bright market makes it a dazzling place to wander, but an enticing one too. Local knowledge. The bright market is the busiest part of the ice lower rim. You can find anything and everything here. Okay, so this here is where we go and look for a doctor, I guess. Passage into the low end. Pay low end toll. After some spacers cause some trouble in the low end, Yatagan have imposed a toll for entry. No one gets in without paying. Okay, fair enough. So we could either ask for directions here. I mean, we will need to like find some food tomorrow, right? Yeah, I mean, this sounds pretty important. Okay, start the action. Local knowledge +3. Ask for directions. You end up at a drink stall debating the finer points of the solemn collapse. You try to remember all the tips your companions after you. Okay. Repeatable action. Explore the market. You have a sense of the bright market now, of its rhythms and rules. You decided you like it here. Oh, so we could have used this action or this one action to get the local knowledge. Okay. So now we have the local knowledge, and sure enough, we found out about the doctor and also a street food vendor. Okay. Next comes the call from the enforcer at the door. You shuffle down the flickering hallway towards the open apartment door. You keep your head down and your shoulders high in the queue, trying not to bring attention to yourself. You were thankful for the tip-off that a doctor was operating out of this place, but now that you're here, you aren't so sure. The gang enforcer on the door, the flickering light strips, the decaying hab block, they have all made the long queue a test of your nerve. But your options are few, and without a supply of stabilizer, your body will, You suppose a shiver and shuffle towards the front of the queue. You try to find something to distract yourself. Look inside. You lean against the door frame and look into the apartment. The entryway is dark, punctuated by the green indicators of stacks of sealed containers. You lean in and see amber light filtering through a far doorway, screened with plastic sheeting beyond which blurred shapes move. The slap of the enforcer's palm against the doorway jerks you awake. "Wait your turn," he growls. After a few moments, a figure pushes through the doorway and you catch a distant voice. "Send the next one in, Toshiro." The enforcer jerks his head. This is so funny. I used to use Toshiro. It was my first character in WoW. I named him after Toshiro Umezawa from Saviors of Kamigawa in Magic the Gathering. That's so cool. The enforcer jerks his head and you slip inside, passing through the dark entryway and pushing through the plastic sheeting on the far door. The room beyond is bathed in warm light, a floor-to-ceiling transparent panel gives a full view of the bright market's sealed roof and the buzzing traffic above, and, well, for a moment you are transfixed by the motion. "Come, sit," calls a sharp voice. "Come, sit," calls a sharp voice, and you see a silhouetted figure turned away, replacing the plastic sheeting over the frame of a simple folding bed. You make your way across the room. The figure turns. As they do, you see an expression of confusion flash across their features. They open their mouth as if to speak, they blink and then quickly regain their composure. "Please sit." They gesture to the bed and return to an open case of tools on the table. You sit. Sabine turns, a compact diagnostic scanner of some kind in their hand. They hold it to their eye. "Remain still, please." Their tone is clipped and businesslike. You stare ahead, still dazed from their expression when you first entered. Fear, recognition, sadness unmistakably etched across their face. "How long have you been on the station?" they ask, the scanner still to their eye. "A few cycles." They nod. "It's good you came to me." They set the diagnostic scanner on the table. "I'm going to start by assuming you don't know anything." They take your arm and roll up your sleeve, inspecting your synthetic skin. "Your body's dying." They say it without ceremony, without drama, but not without empathy. SNR doesn't like to see its proprietary technology let loose. To prevent bodies like yours, frames as they call them, from being stolen, repurposed, or in your case, escaping, they built in a process of so-called planned obsolescence. Frames decay rapidly when not regularly injected with stabilizer, one which SNR remains the sole producer of. They look up. "Sounds familiar?" "How do you know this?" They shift in their seat. "You aren't the first sleeper I've encountered." You wait for more, but they go back to their inspection. They swap to your other arm, running some thin metal device over your skin. You feel your forearm tremble. "I'm sorry," Sabine says, and you're unsure if they mean for the cold touch of the metal or everything else. Emulations like you, sleepers, as the most people know you, aren't classified as people in any of the surrogate systems. You have no rights, no status. They focus hard on the inspection of your arm, and SNR has no reason to release stabilizer into the market. Sabine looks up as if to apologize again, but they stop themselves. "I know little of this is used to you." They turn away, disassembling the metal instrument and cleaning it. Silence fills the room as Sabine works, and then the silence gives way to tension. You stare at their back, willing them to say something. Anything. Sabine turns to face you. "I may be able to help." They sigh, and you see the darkness under their eyes, hear the fatigue in their voice. They gesture to the door. "You saw Toshiro outside?" You nod. "He works for my benefactor, yet again. They are influential in the low end. They give me this space to work, run the door, and take the profits. At the same time, I have to fix up their enforcers, tend to their implants, sew up their wounds." They look away. "But Yatagan has connections, smugglers from the Stewart Belt, mercenaries working for the corporations on Ember. If they can source the stabilizer, maybe you'll have a better chance." Sabine sets down their slate, their notes complete. This is dangerous, and it will be expensive, but I think we can do it. Why help me?" Sabine walks away to the window, their face dappled by the shadows of passing drones. "Let's just see if this works first. I'll let you know when I have a lead." You nod and leave. Sabine was staring out, unmoving. When you reach the lower level of the market, you look back up through the panels of the roof to see if you can see their face, but the room looks dark against the lights of the market. You duck your head and walk off into the crowd. Right. Sabine's surgery, makeshift doctor's surgery, so you can go here and do what exactly? Sourcing stabilizer. Sabine thinks they can source some stabilizer through Yatagan, but it's going to take a few cycles. Well, better hurry up, I'm dying here, not like there's any rush or anything like that, right? Cool. So yeah, we got one dice left before we need to go to sleep. We can like go check out some other places. What's this? Ort exchange, hardware exchange. But I'm gonna make a cut here and we're gonna continue playing this game in the next episode. Let me know what you think. So it seems like it's very heavily story based, but it's also pretty tactical with this dice and stuff that you can use to do the work. We probably need to go and eat next time, I suppose. Maybe we can do it even now. And yeah, I like tactical games like this, and a little bit of a story game here and there also entices my fancy. So yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. I guess I wish you all a wonderful day, do some nice things, be kind to each other, and let's make the world a better place together. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. The Numer signing out. Bye bye.